One of the things I like to do in my own garden to save money and also to keep a few plants going is take cuttings of some of my favorite plants in the fall. Many of the coleus, geraniums, and some of the begonias that we all love in our pots will also overwinter well as cuttings. It's very difficult to bring the entire pot in, but you can take small cuttings, root them over the winter months, and then next spring plant them out in your containers. When you're taking a cutting, all you're really wanting is probably about a 4 to 6 inch piece of the mother plant. We're going to make the cut just below a node or where a leaf comes out. We want to use a knife, not a pair of scissors, because scissors will smash or cut the tissue. When you're looking for what plant parts to take, you usually want to take a strong, vigorous shoot that's fresh, succulent growth. You don't want something real mature. You want something that's had a chance to grow and harden off a little bit, because that's going to be where your roots are going to develop down here at the base of your stem. You're going to have a lot of choices when it comes to taking cuttings, so just kind of hunt and peck through your plant and find the ones that look the most strong and vigorous and healthy and take your cuttings from those. Well, once you've made your initial cuttings, it's time to go ahead and do the final prep work. As we said, the ideal cutting is about 4 to 6 inches long. We want to remove a lot of the extra leaf growth so it doesn't have a lot of canopy to lose moisture. Ideally, you want to make the cutting just below a node. That's where the leaf would have come out. That's where the rooting is going to develop. A lot of times you make cuttings too to keep them from rotting. A lot of times we lay them out on the counter for a couple of hours. That kind of dries and seals out the bottom of the cutting. It kind of calluses it over. Another trick to help your cuttings to root is to use a product called a rooting hormone. This can be purchased at nurseries and garden centers for a few dollars. And what you do is basically take your prepared cutting, dip it in the rooting hormone, and knock it off. That then provides the extra boost to help the cutting to root during the winter months. I just use a regular potting soil in a pot, and I like to stick maybe 4 or 5 cuttings fairly thick in a pot, because I'm not really growing these for a big, lush plant. I'm just growing these to get starts for next year. A lot of times you can take multiple cuttings in the spring to fill your pots. Take your knife or a pencil and just make a groove down into the soil and insert your cutting. So in a pot this size, I'll easily do 5 or 6 cuttings to help fill the pot. Once the cuttings are stuck, you can wet the soil to settle the soil around them. Then we're going to place a plastic bag over the top of the cuttings to keep in the humidity. The other nice thing about this is you won't really have to water all that often. You will want to check from time to time to make sure that they do remain moist but not wet. When they're in the rooting process with the bag, we also don't want to place them in the real direct sun because it can heat up and basically cook our cuttings. So low light would be ideal. The ideal way to tell the cuttings are rooted is to remove the bag and give them a slight pull. If there's resistance, that tells us the cuttings have started to develop roots. At that time, the bag can be removed and your cuttings can be moved into a more sunny location so they grow stronger and more vigorous over the winter months. Come spring then, you've got a pot full of cuttings for your containers for another season of color out in the garden.
For more information, visit your local extension office or visit our website at kansasgreenyards.org.